Under the crowded ground of hip-hop, where stories of struggle and triumph often intertwine, Lil Baby's rise to fame stands out as an inspiring testament to resilience and redemption. From a past marred by incarceration and a life on the streets, Lil Baby emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. In this article, we delve into the extraordinary journey of Lil Baby, tracing his transformation from a young man caught in the throes of a challenging environment to becoming a prominent figure in modern rap. Rain poured down from the sky, drumming on the collection of luxurious cars parked outside the headquarters of Quality Control, Atlanta's most prosperous hip-hop label. Inside, Lil Baby, the 25-year-old rapper with a magnetic charm and four pockets brimming with cash, was about to give me a lesson in CeeLo, the dice game that had earned him fame long before he could legally drink. 3 green dice clattered across the wooden floor as Baby showed me the ropes of the game. He was a patient and methodical teacher, taking the time to explain the rules while answering my seemingly silly questions about throwing technique. With every roll, he snapped his fingers as if trying to will the dice to yield the numbers he wanted. He skillfully packed up the dice while casually puffing on a blunt that could rival Kawhi Leonard's middle finger in size. Just as the ashes hit the floor, Kevin Coach K. Lee, the founder and COO of Quality Control, appeared, as if anticipating a moment when Baby might say something that could get him into trouble. Undeterred, Baby recounted a memorable night when friends had pooled their money, eager to witness one of his legendary winning streaks. Such nights ended with everyone chasing him across the city, desperate to win their cash back. As Baby shared this story, he admitted that there were still people he owed money to, even though he had the means to pay them back. For him, it wasn't just about the funds. It was a matter of principle. The room fell silent as Baby's words lingered in the air. His tale painted a picture of a young man who had experienced immense success but hadn't forgotten his roots and the friendships that had supported him on his journey. Despite the wealth and fame, he remained grounded, true to himself, and steadfast in his principles. Lil Baby is, by many metrics, the most popular rapper in the world at the moment. He has the most streamed album in the country this year, and even with projects from rappers like Drake or pop stars like The Weeknd to contend with, it's not really close. Before he was a rapper, Baby was a constant presence in the orbit of QC. When Migos, Rich the Kid, Skippa da Flippa, and Lil Duke were cutting their teeth in the label's studio, he was right there, not rapping. A weed dealer with a prodigious reputation, Baby would wait for rappers to return from shows flush with cash that he might take from them, one way or another. But Coach K, the power broker behind Atlanta's esteemed rap legends like Young Jeezy and Gucci Mane, as well as the rising stars shaping the city's future, saw something in the 17-year-old Baby that the young dealer had not yet seen in himself. With his salt-and-pepper beard and composed demeanor, Coach K was the calming force amid QC's constant whirlwind. As they stood outside the studio, Coach K decided to plant a seed of possibility in Baby's mind. He marveled at Baby's distinctive style, his commanding presence, and the respect he garnered from every corner of Atlanta, from the east side to the west side to the south side. He questioned Baby. "Why don't you rap? You've got the swag, the lingo, and the respect. You have all the qualities for success in Atlanta's rap scene." In a genre where exaggeration and larger-than-life tales were commonplace, Baby's life story was already captivating. There was no need for hyperbole to make his journey more intriguing. By any standards, Lil Baby's rise was unnervingly fast. After Coach K's cajoling, Baby recruited Young Thug, already an Atlanta superstar, and his future collaborator Gunna, to help teach him how to rap. It turned out he was good at it. A dexterous rhymer with a strong grasp of melody, firmly in the tradition of late 2010s Atlanta hip-hop. He favored booming trap drums, smeared auto-tune, and worked at a frighteningly productive pace. Within 3 years, he was a star. His second album, My Turn, was released in February and is the most streamed in the U.S. this year. Then the country began to fall apart. In the wake of George Floyd's killing, Lil Baby, like millions of other Americans, took to the streets to protest. "That type of shit I would want to do if I wasn't a rapper," he says. "It's like something that's going on in history and time." But unlike the majority of protesters still marching for change, Lil Baby wrote a song about it. Released in June, The Bigger Picture was a daringly precise stream of consciousness that finds Baby grappling with the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Rayshard Brooks against a simple piano-led beat. To Lil Baby, The Bigger Picture isn't a protest song. "I just rap about my life. All my songs are basically about me," Baby says. "It was at a point where I felt I needed to say something." Before he was a platinum-selling rapper, the system made sure to underscore the fact that his black life didn't matter. One day, Lil Baby strolls into the quality control kitchen, seemingly lost in conversation about Scooby-Doo with no one in particular. Upon his return, he starts calling someone Velma. Confused, I look to Baby's friends for an explanation, and they quietly reveal that Baby believes I resemble the bespectacled teen detective from the cartoon. From that moment on, the Velma nickname sticks, albeit reluctantly on my part. Despite my indignation, Baby agrees to take a drive through the West End with me. In 2017, Lil Baby introduced the world to this neighborhood in the video for his breakout track, My Dog. Through auto-tuned vocals, Baby painted a vivid picture of a life he was still partially entangled in. A life of ambition and risk. Now, 3 years later, as we pass by the Oakland Food Mart prominently featured in the music video, it's impossible not to notice the changes. While Baby has achieved more economic freedom, his old neighborhood has become a hotbed for the free market to take hold. The Beltline Project, which secured $18 million in federal funding in 2013 to develop a trail through Atlanta, has accelerated gentrification in areas like the West End. As a result, the neighborhood has transformed into an upward trending locale, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Baby reflects on this evolution, sharing that he refrains from buying houses in the area now because their prices have skyrocketed in just a few years. Properties once sold for $10,000 now command a staggering $180,000 without any significant improvements. However, Baby keenly observes that longtime residents of the West End don't necessarily enjoy the same upward mobility he does. For them, breaking free from their circumstances is an incredibly challenging feat, and very few succeed in doing so. The closer we get to Baby's old neighborhood, the pricklier he becomes. As a group of children selling water see Baby's white Rolls-Royce truck zooming down the road, they rush toward it. Yet, instead of slowing down, he speeds up and jokingly swerves toward the kids. As Lil Baby's involvement in drug dealing intensified, he made a difficult decision to drop out of high school and dedicate himself fully to this risky ventura. The allure of quick money and financial stability drove him to pursue this path. Growing up around drug dealers in his neighborhood, he admired those who had already found success in the trade. One individual, in particular, left a lasting impression on him. A 17-year-old who seemed to have it all, from money to his own place. By the time Baby reached 17, he had secured 2 condominiums that cost approximately $2,000 each month. While enjoying the fruits of his illicit activities, he witnessed the lives of his friends, like Young Thug and Offset, undergoing significant changes. He recalls how Offset offered him a share in his 2-bedroom condo, knowing that he was going on tour and wouldn't be around much. For all intents and purposes, the condo became Baby's home. However, at the age of 20, reality caught up with Lil Baby. His run-ins with the law had escalated, leading to 3 previous jail stints. Eventually, he faced a prison sentence of around 2 years on charges related to drugs and weapons. Reflecting on his time behind bars, he describes it as pure misery, a period that one can only truly comprehend by experiencing it firsthand. As Baby started completing songs, his manager P saw an opportunity to capitalize on his talent and saturate the market with his music. In 2017 alone, Baby released 4 projects, followed by 3 more the next year. P's approach was straightforward. Take whatever songs Baby had, arrange them in a sequence, commission artwork, release them on streaming platforms, and repeat the process. However, the real challenge wasn't creating the music. It was convincing Lil Baby to embark on the same promotional circuit that had driven the legendary work ethic of artists like Migos. P would often have to persuade Baby to hit the road for promotional appearances, despite the artist making substantial money in the streets. Baby's earnings from his street activities were significant, but P knew that expanding his reach beyond his neighborhood was crucial for his long-term success. P recounts the tough discussions he had with Baby, encouraging him to do shows on what he refers to as the Chitlin circuit. These smaller venues and hole-in-the-wall clubs were in places like Jackson, Mississippi, where Baby could connect with a wider audience. Despite the modest fees he received for these performances, often just $500 to $1,000 per show, P believed in the potential for growth and exposure. Convincing Baby to undertake long drives, sometimes lasting 3 to 4 hours, to reach these venues was no easy task, but P's persistence paid off. Rashad, Baby's ever-present and amiable day-to-day manager, remembers vividly those times when they hit these smaller clubs. Despite the challenges and initial hurdles, Baby's talent and charisma shone through, leaving a lasting impact on those who witnessed his performances. For Lil Baby, transitioning from his old life to a music career was a slow and challenging process. He often felt frustrated, comparing the earnings from his drug dealings to the seemingly meager income from music. However, his manager P remained steadfast, encouraging him to see beyond the immediate monetary gains and recognize the significance of choosing a path that didn't come with the dangerous consequences of street life. P continually reassured Baby that trusting the process would eventually lead to success. A pivotal moment came when there was a drug shortage, which temporarily curbed Baby's appetite for his old life. During those 3 weeks, he realized he no longer wanted to be involved in drugs. The scarcity made him contemplate his choices, and he made the conscious decision to fully commit to his music career. From that point forward, Lil Baby immersed himself in his art, determined to build a future free from the risks and consequences he had faced before. During the ride through his neighborhood, the duo reaches the site of the burned-down Wendy's, where Rayshard Brooks tragically lost his life at the hands of 2 police officers. As protesters gather to mourn Brooks, the atmosphere is tense and emotional. It hits Baby hard that such a tragedy occurred in a place so close to his home. The area is filled with stands selling Black Lives Matter shirts, and the heat amplifies the somber scene of candles, teddy bears, and photographs. Reflecting on the realities of life as a Black person in Atlanta, Baby becomes increasingly somber and resigned. Death and injustice seem to be pervasive, making the world appear bleak and unforgiving. He acknowledges that the tragedies have become an unfortunate part of their lives, something they've grown accustomed to. However, there's a glimmer of hope as Baby realizes that he now possesses the power to speak out and influence change through his platform as an artist. As Lil Baby arrives at the Wendy's lot, he is met with a vigilant and watchful crowd. Gary Stokes, responsible for the area's security, greets him and directs him to the back of the building. Stokes, a member of the National African American Nation, emphasizes that he is working with the Brooks family as an unbiased individual. He notes that before the tragic incident involving Rayshard Brooks, not many people cared or expressed their opinions on the issues at hand. The atmosphere around Lil Baby is emotionally charged as children and their parents gather around him, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man who grew up in their neighborhood and now represents something larger than himself. Amid the crowd, Baby takes photos with those who approach him, while Coach K shows support by purchasing several Black Lives Matter shirts. Coach K remains unfazed by the fact that it took a high-profile song like The Bigger Picture for the masses to recognize the depth and significance of Lil Baby's artistry. He believes that new listeners, drawn in by the powerful message of the song, are now exploring Baby's discography and appreciating his long-standing talent. The Bigger Picture continues to make an impact, sparking conversations and inspiring people to pay attention to important social issues. Despite being only a few years into his career, Lil Baby is already envisioning a future where his life story becomes a dramatized representation, whether through a movie or documentary. He believes that his journey, from his life before fame to his rise in the music industry, is a unique and remarkable tale, one in a million, and he's cautious about revealing it prematurely. When asked if he can share a glimpse of his story, Baby hesitates but ultimately smiles. He considers the interview itself as a jewel, implying that the conversation they had and the glimpse into his thoughts and life are valuable in themselves. With blunts finished and dice packed away, Lil Baby agrees to answer one last question. His humility and authenticity shine through as he acknowledges the significance of sharing his story and experiences with the world. Though he might not be ready to reveal everything just yet, he acknowledges the impact of the interview and the opportunity to connect with his audience on a deeper level.